it's Rosalind. Welcome back to our gardens and our tiny farm. It has been so cold and snowy here in northern Indiana in the beginning of December that, as you can imagine, our greenhouse project has come to a screeching halt. But there's so many other things that we can be working on in the month of December. So today we are going to be working on making some homemade old-fashioned Christmas decor that kind of reminds me of a little women's Christmas. We are going to be planting the very first flower seeds for the season 2026. Can you believe that? And we're going to be getting the doors ready for the greenhouse. We're going to be sanding them and painting them. So make yourself something cozy to drink and settle yourself in. Winter has arrived a little early this year and wrapped itself around our homestead. The snow keeps falling and the temperatures haven't really risen above freezing. And for now, the greenhouse build has to rest where it's at. So today, we're going to slow down and create in quieter ways, making old-fashioned Christmas decor and planting flowers in the snow for spring. I love old-fashioned Christmas decor, the kind that feels like it could have lived 100 years ago. Nothing flashy, just quiet beauty. When I was growing up, I read through the whole series of Laura Ingalls Wilder books a couple of times and dreamed of stepping back in time and decorate the way they did for Christmas back then, with all natural elements. There's something grounding about making decorations by hand. I love the way that oranges catch the winter light, and evergreen branches somehow make it feel like you've brought the forest indoors. While the orange slices were in the oven, we sanded the double doors that will be going into the greenhouse as the entrance doors. I believe I shared in last week's video what color they will be painted. Tomorrow we start painting them. Well, friends, today we are going to be making some homemade Christmas decor together. We're going to be planting amaryllis bulb, and then we are going out in the garage and planting the very first flower seeds for 2026. It's a flower that takes 180 days or more to bloom, so we're going to get the seeds started in December so we have flowers by this summer. So I've been looking for different wreaths online and in store, and I haven't been able to find anything that I really like to just kind of hang around the house. So we're going to be making some homemade wreaths together. And these poor oranges. So I had started baking them a little too late. It was like 8 o'clock in the evening, and I baked them for a couple hours, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to bed and I'll wake up soon and get them out of the oven. Well, quite a few hours later, I got up and I was like, oh no, those orange slices, and they got a little too dark, but we're still going to use them. They still look okay. And they baked for almost 9 hours instead of the 6 hours like I had planned. But we're also going to be making wreaths out of 2 different kinds of nuts. I have never made a wreath out of orange slices or out of nuts, but I saw pictures of a couple different ways to make them, and I thought, you know what, they're so pretty. We're going to be making some together. So let's get started. First, we're forming a circle for the wreath, and then we are going to do a couple of layers of orange slices on top of each other. with some hot glue. While the orange wreath is drying, we're going to start forming another wreath with some nuts that we picked up at our local grocery store. We're simply hot gluing each side of the nut and gluing everything together. Now we're going to create a third wreath with some chestnuts, and this wreath is going to be a little bit smaller. We simply did the same thing, hot glued everything together. Now that the orange wreath has been drying for a bit, we're going to glue another layer on the back side to hopefully hold everything together very well. I went outside and cut a couple of snippets of evergreen to add just a little bit of greenery to each of the wreaths. Now we're going to add some red velvet ribbon to each one of these wreaths, and they are going to be done, ready to hang around the house. Well, friends, what do you think? Wasn't that so much fun making those wreaths? If you think between the oranges and the nuts, it costs less than $10 to make them. And they're so sweet. At least I think so. I would love to hear what you think about them. So next, we are going to plant our amaryllis bulbs. This probably won't bloom until close to February, which will be perfect for Valentine's. I think this color is so pretty for both Christmas and for Valentine's. But it takes like 8 to 10 weeks for an amaryllis bulb to bloom, so we won't get blooms in time for Christmas. But still, very fun. I picked up this little planter at the thrift store, and I thought it would be perfect to plant an amaryllis bulb into it and decorate it for the holidays. What do you think, friends? Isn't it kind of sweet? We are out here in the garage. We're going to start some flowers from seed that they're one of my favorite cut flowers in the summer in the cut flower garden. They remind me of roses. Roses are one of my favorite flowers to grow, but this one takes a lot less care than roses do. It's Lisianthus, but they do take a very long time to grow from seed. So that's why we're starting them in December. So I had started some, I think it was 2 years ago. I tried to start some from seed, and I was growing them under grow lights in our basement. And needless to say, not one of them made it out into the garden. They all ceased to live growing in the basement. So I saw someone grow them using the winter sowing method. She is in growing zone 7. I'm in growing zone 6A. So we are going to experiment with growing them in milk jugs and setting them outside into the weather like we usually do in January with all of our other perennial and hardy annual flowers. We just plant them into milk jugs, set them outside into the weather, and the freeze and thaw eventually coaxes those seeds to sprout. We let Mother Nature take care of them. So that is what we're going to try with these because, okay, so Lisianthus they cost $2 to $4 per plant if you buy them from a flower grower. But we are going to plant them from seed. A packet of seed costs a couple of dollars. So if if this method would end up not working, we're only out a couple of dollars. But if we succeed, we only spent a couple of dollars on a whole packet of seeds, and we have all of these plants versus spending maybe $50 on a row of Lisianthus in the garden. The winter sowing method lets seeds experience the natural cold just like they would in the wild. They'll slowly wake when the timing is right, and I will share more in January when we start winter sowing all of our perennial flowers, hardy annuals, and biennial seeds. It's my favorite way to grow from seed because they take less care from you. These milk jugs will act as little greenhouses for the seeds as the sun shines on them, but since Lisianthus are a bit more tender, I will pop them into the garage at night for the winter months to give them extra protection from the harsh cold. Winter may have paused the greenhouse building for now, but nothing ever really stops growing. It just changes shape for a while. It is time to get these double doors painted and dream of what they will look like once they are part of the greenhouse. Thank you for spending this snowy winter day with us, making old-fashioned Christmas decor and planting hope for spring. The greenhouse will be waiting when the weather softens again.